Hello, this is going to be fairly quick. It's just summaries of the second and third phases of Tess of the D'Urbervilles for my higher class or for anyone else who is interested in the second and third phases of Tess of the D'Urbervilles. There may be others out there, I suppose. Today's video is brought to you by our kind sponsor, tea. Tea. It refreshes and it warms. Delicious tea. I'm hoping that somehow that will earn me some sort of sponsorship from a tea company. If you are from a tea company and you're watching this, please sponsor me. Or just send me some tea. Either or, I'm not really fussed. Bit of a diversion, I suppose. I should get back to the work at hand. Okay, phase 2 of Tess of the D'Urbervilles. Following the incident in the chase, where Alex seduces or rapes Tess, she becomes extremely bitter towards him, as you can well understand, and she quits Trantridge to go home. Alec is not in favour of this, but she leaves anyway. And when she gets home, she hardly ever leaves her room, and this is partly because she's pregnant and doesn't want anyone to see the physical effect of being pregnant, and it's also to avoid the social shame of being seen to be pregnant outside wedlock in a small rural village. The following summer, she gives birth to a boy who quickly becomes very ill, and he dies in the first couple of weeks of his life. While he's alive, I think it's on the last night that he's alive, Tess attempts to have him baptized by the local parson, but the parson turns Tess away because the boy was born outside marriage. Tess returns home and she baptizes the boy herself, and when he dies, she buries him in the only land that the church will allow him to be buried, and this is in a section of the cemetery which is unconsecrated. It's not been blessed by the priest or the minister. She sets up a simple cross which she makes herself, and she leaves a marmalade jar with wild flowers in it on the grave. And the simplicity of the grave is the first indication of Tess's developing attitude towards the church. Her faith is very honest and very simple, and it contrasts with the austere and the cruel side of faith which is presented by organized religion in the novel. I think Hardy is trying to say that religion is more personal than organized, and certainly as a reader we warm to Tess's version of faith in its simplicity, rather than the kind of religion that is willing to turn her away because the child was born out of wedlock. Moving on to phase 3, it follows 2 years later after the death of Sorrow, and Tess is now able to make a fresh start with her life. Like a lot of workers at the time in this part of England, in order to secure work, they would have to travel to other towns and villages, and at the age of 20, she travels to a dairy farm called Talbothays. I don't know if there's an apostrophe in there. It belongs to Mr. Talbothay. I don't think so. The farm is run by a dairyman, Crick. Anyway, when Tess is approaching the farm, we get this wonderful description of the landscape, and all the description is about the vitality and the growth of the land. And Hardy is intending us to see this as a reflection of Tess's own growing hope and a sense of recovery from the bad luck that she'd previously experienced. At the farm, she makes firm friends with 3 girls, Retty, Marion, and most importantly, Is Hewitt. We'll come back to Is in the next phase. On the farm, she also meets Angel Clare again, and she recognises him as one of the lads who she saw at the May dance in the first phase but didn't dance with. He's studying on the farm to become a gentleman farmer, and he intends, when he's finished his studies, to take his skills to South America to make a fortune in farming there. All of the milkmaids fall in love with Angel, but he very quickly identifies Tess as his preferred choice. And over time, the pair grow closer, they work together, and there are a lot of kind of exchanged glances and awkward conversations and embarrassment, but we get a really strong sense of the love blooming between them. And throughout the section, the imagery of the land becomes increasingly fertile and verdant. And again, Hardy's intending the landscape to reflect a change in Tess. In this case, it's a sexual growth with her, sexual maturing in her. And previously, Tess was very much a girl, and the growth of the land and the reflection in the land is intended to show Tess's passage from being a girl maturing into a full-grown woman. There will be another video for phase 4, maybe even phase 5, again within the week. I hope this was useful. If you want to get in touch, you know the usual forms: Twitter, email, or leave a comment on the website. Thank you.